Mogul Motivation, empowering and inspiring entrepreneurs and dream chasers worldwide, 1 week at a time. Presented by True Stories Media, and I am your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. Welcome back. I'm happy that you are here. Whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on right now, please share, subscribe, and like it. Pass it on to somebody else that may benefit from it as well. If this is your first time listening, this podcast is for the aspiring entrepreneur trying to get over that hump and make things happen. This podcast is for anybody with a dream that wants to go forward and accomplish that dream. This is episode 389. Inching closer and closer to episode 400. Once we get to episode 400, nothing really changes. You know, the movement continues. It's just that's a huge milestone. 400 episodes, 389 episodes is a huge milestone. And I've only got this far because of consistency. You know, God is a consistent God. You know, God gives us our daily bread, meaning he gives us what we need to survive. I can attest to that, you know, in my life. In this past year, you know, things have been rocky, up and down, a roller coaster. And in those low moments, God has always provided what I needed. God has always provided the clients that I needed, the resources that I needed, the financing, the funding that I needed, the food, the roof over my head, the transportation. God has always provided things in my life that I needed my entire life. But I'm just really speaking about this past year. I'm just speaking about the past couple years since the pandemic. God has always provided that daily bread in my life. And I'm sure God has done the same thing for you in your life. God is a provider. God is a protector. God is a waymaker. God is a she, God is a he, God is everything. God provides. The reason why I'm talking about all that right now, I'm not a pastor, you know, I'm not trying to preach a sermon. I'm just simply talking about the daily bread, the things that we need, the resources, the help that we receive on a daily basis. And that's most of the battle. But as humans on this earth, we still have to do what we got to do, right? And when you have a dream, when you have a business, when you have something that you want to accomplish, something that you want to obtain, you have to be consistent with it. Okay, you have to consistently do things to bring yourself closer to that goal. So that means every single day, that means every single week, that means every single month. Consistency looks different for different people. Okay, I want to make that very clear. So it doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be every week. It doesn't have to be every month, but it has to be a continual cadence of dedication and discipline and focus that's going to get you closer to that goal. So whatever that consistency looks like in your life, you need to dedicate to it. You need to commit to it. Consistency is not a perfect 360 circle. Sometimes consistency might be an oval. Sometimes consistency might be an irregular circle, but nonetheless, it is a circle. That means it goes all around and comes to an end point. You have to be consistent on your goals, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's tough right now. I know you're losing faith right now. I know you're losing energy right now because you feel like you've already been consistent and you haven't gotten anywhere. Well, let me tell you right now, you are getting somewhere. You might not see it in front of your eyes, but you are getting somewhere. Continue to remain consistent because that commitment to yourself, that commitment to God is going to pay off when you least expect it. I know it sounds cliche, but it's true because I've experienced it many times in my life. So no matter how many people that do not believe in you, you have to continue to believe in you, in yourself, and in this dream, in this goal, in this business of yours, and remain consistent. You know what you have to do to remain consistent. Even if you do a little bit on this day, even if you do a little bit the next day, even if you do a little bit next week, you are remaining consistent. Rome was not built in a day. They love to use that catchphrase, right? About Rome was not built in a day. The Sears Tower was not built in a day. Nothing great was not built in a day. The Great Wall of China was not built in a day. Nothing great came overnight. And once you understand that, once you realize that, and once you stop subscribing to social media sociology and ideology, you will realize that everything you do makes a huge difference in your life, but you have to remain consistent. You have to stay dedicated. You have to stay committed. You have to stay faithful to yourself, to this business, to this dream, and to the vision that God gave you. God is going to give you your daily bread in the interim. God is going to provide the resources. God is going to provide the financing. God is going to provide, but you have to continue to stay consistent. You have to provide that thoroughbred for yourself. God is going to give you the daily bread, but you have to provide the thoroughbred. The thoroughbred is what's going to make you a master of your craft. The thoroughbred is what's going to give you more confidence, because the more action that you partake in, the more confidence you gain in regards to what you are doing. The thoroughbred is what you provide for yourself by remaining committed and consistent on this journey. The daily bread comes from God. And once you have the daily bread, once you have the thoroughbred, you will be all right. And before you know it, everything that you've been laboring for is going to come to fruition. It's going to be tangible, and you will be able to touch it. So that's my message this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Very short, very sweet. The thoroughbred comes from you and your dedication and your labor on a consistent basis. Doesn't have to be every day. Doesn't have to be every week. Doesn't have to be every month. But it has to be at a continual cadence that's comfortable for you, that's manageable for you in your life, so that you do not abandon your goals and your dreams. If this podcast has blessed you in any way, shape, or form, I ask for two things as always. Number one, leave a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening to it on right now. And number two, please pass it on to somebody else that may benefit from it as well. So let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. While God sends down that daily bread, you have to continue to churn out that thoroughbred right here in the horizontal realm on earth to bring your business, your career, and your dream to fruition. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you next week.